Ladies and gentlemen, this is Home Attack, and I'm bringing back Prestige, right? And it's going to be better this time around. But I want to talk about something, man. One big problem. There's many problems, but one big problem with wrestling entertainment is former wrestlers like Paul Levesque, Triple H, being bookers. They don't understand marketing. But it's not just them. It's AEW, the same thing, Tony Khan. Let's have these 20, hour-long matches to where everybody wins by the skin of their teeth. Nobody's dominant. Nobody gets over. We know Finn Balor's a jobber. Finn Balor has not won a match since 1962. And he's having a 20-man banger with world champion CM Punk. Tell me that makes any sense, y'all. Y'all see what's wrong with this? And then next week, CM Punk and AJ Styles, they're going to have another banger. Then AJ Styles and Goose are going to have another 20-man banger. You see why nobody's getting over? At least one big reason why nobody's getting over? Because even if, for the very few that still exist, even if a wrestler has a personality, they're not wearing it on a t-shirt, they actually have a gimmick, like a Chelsea Green, for example, an actual persona, it's still hard to get over when you're not dominating. When there's no squash matches, everybody is as strong as each other. This is the reason why a top tier wrestler should always bury. Maybe I shouldn't use the word bury. Because if you're a jobber, you're a jobber. So if you got a top guy like CM Punk going against a Finn Balor who's a jobber who hasn't won the match forever, CM Punk should squash him in 2 minutes. And then also another problem is nobody earning their shots. They're asking Adam Pearce for a title shot and they're just getting one. Didn't win no matches to work themselves up there, you know. See, a fan has to believe in what they're seeing. I'm talking about from a kayfabe standpoint. We know wrestling's scripted. We get this. It's predetermined. But so is movies. So are TV shows. It's not like it's just wrestling. But there's only so much belief that you could suspend yourself from. Something has to make sense. But no, Paul Levesque is only listening to the people that don't criticize him, which are 5-year-olds and adults that don't really care about what they're watching. He's not listening to the people that's been watching this stuff forever. Back when it was good. So I'm going to demonstrate what a wrestling match should look like. It shouldn't be 20 minutes long. It's not going to last long. I'm going to commentate on this whole thing, right? I'm going to talk this thing through. Turn the volume. All right. All right. Now you got Ronnie as the babyface, and you got Droid, the giant, on the right side, who's the heel. Now let's say Ronnie actually beats this guy with his technical wrestling. How can we make that look believable without it being an hour-long spectacle? Okay, Droid, he shows his power first. And yes, I choreographed this with 2 controllers. I can do that. Here goes Ronnie showing off his technical wrestling skills. But Rodney can't lift him. He's too heavy. So look, he's working his way around the fact that he can't lift him. He's finding ways to still knock the big guy off his feet. Here we go. That's half of Rodney's moves right there. Goes for the pinfall. But Droid is still not out. Droid cowers out of the ring. Because Rodney's getting to the best of him. Goes for a cheap shot. Doesn't work. There you go. Rodney's still getting the best of him. Now, Rodney goes in for his finisher. That was his signature. Really, a match could be this short and be believable. You can still have your high flying and all that. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. You can still have your high flying. Okay, so now Droid is back in control. Even if it's a fast-paced, high-flying match, you can still work the same style. It'll just be faster than this. It'll be more hurricanranas and super kicks and stuff, right? So now Droid is back in the driver's seat. Rodney's still getting up. So you're hoping Rodney gets up to be able to defend himself. This giant monster. I know we don't have giants anymore. This is the beginning of Prestige. Signature. Now he about to slam him. For his finisher. Hits the Droid bomb. Can he get up? Rodney still gets up. Rodney is showing resiliency. Droid wants to hit it again. Doesn't let him hit it again. He still got to fight. Rodney couldn't hit his first finisher. So he hit his second one. Oh, there we go. Now he's going to hit his second finisher. Can he get him in that lock? If you got two finishers, the first one can be blocked. Possibly. Don't go for this. Just don't waste your time trying to get the same finisher. There's a rope break. So now Rodney's trying to get him with a roll up. I can't get him. And now he got the lock in again. This is how he's going to take Droid out. You see what I'm talking about? And Rodney gets him. Now this video clip that I have taken, that I have recorded, is only 5 minutes long. 5 minutes and 15 seconds. That's how long that match was. Had reversals in there, not a whole lot, but that's all you need. You only need 5 minutes. Nobody remembers a 20-minute match where there's a million false finishers. Both guys look strong. Both guys look strong. Regardless of who won, both guys look like they can beat you. If a match is long, it's like 20 minutes long, then it doesn't look like the wrestlers can beat each other. You see what I'm talking about? Both guys look strong. But if it's a squash match, the guy who's doing the squashing looks strong. And the jobber looks weak. I'm just saying, man. To me, this is basic wrestling entertainment knowledge. And to me it is. I don't know, you know. This is one of the many things that the Hills Advocate, C-Jax, Millennial Smart, the Hater. This is what they're talking about. Like, why they're criticizing the product. Because they know that this is bad. What Paul Levesque is giving us is terrible marketing. Short matches, even if they're competitive, even if both guys are pretty even, short matches sell. Because both wrestlers look capable of winning a match. Boy, if only we can go back to 1999, back, in the Attitude Era, back when matches were like 2 minutes long. But it was a whole lot of storylines and stuff, but very little wrestling. It don't need to be exactly like that today, but it needs to be more like that. And if you think I'm just kissing Vince McMahon's ass, no, not everything Vince McMahon did was right either. But the problem is Paul Levesque is repeating these same mistakes. 3-hour long shows? 3-hour long shows. Let me tell you something. It was a dumb idea when Vince did it. 3 hours is too much wrestling. That's too much. And it's impossible to make that work. It's impossible to make that work. That's why they just ram it up with ads. With commercials. 1 million commercial breaks. I'd argue that it would make sense for the shows to be an hour. Really. Who has the attention span to keep watching 20-minute banger after banger after banger? Long matches, and no selling in their matches. What Austin talked about. And no character work. Just a bunch of long matches. Ain't nobody gonna get over like that. Why can't we bring back Giants, man? I gotta bring back Prestige, man. My 2K24 game crashed. It was just acting stupid. I don't know what was going on. Trying to get me to buy some shit. Wouldn't let me play the game. And I figured, well, 2K25, I can put men and women together. Which is perfect for me because now I have more room to create good storyline. Good storytelling. Love angles and anything. So, let me just do my thing on 2K25. And in the future, I may carry on the Prestige Mastermind Gaming Legacy onto 2K26. I'm not going to buy that game right away. But I'm just saying, I think I need to illustrate what wrestling entertainment should look like. Why it became mainstream to begin with. Vince made it all about entertainment. Paul Levesque is making it all about himself. He's in the middle of everything. Really, his ego is so big. At one time I thought PLE stood for Paul Levesque Event. I'm dead serious. Wrestlers don't understand booking. They don't. None of them. I don't care if it's Triple H, Road Dogg, Shawn Michaels. He might be the best one. At least Shawn Michaels has ideas. But I don't think no wrestler should be a booker. I mean, he's doing good with NXT, but who watches NXT? Not the majority of us. Why do you think these wrestlers keep getting injured? Even when Triple H does have a good storyline going, it keeps getting sidetracked and reneged because these wrestlers keep getting injured because they keep having these 20-man a banger at the 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 banger. They're not doing house shows anymore to, focus on their craft. Even me, who's sitting up here in my bedroom playing with two controllers, I have to practice in order to put this stuff together. I gotta practice my craft and remember all the moves that I put together. Same thing with Tekken. I gotta practice my craft. That's why these guys keep injuring themselves and keep botching. 20 botches per match. You see why house shows were important? That gave these guys room to practice their in-ring craft. And if you make the matches shorter and they just focus on their main moves, and that's it, that's also can help with the injury issue and the botching. Because now they only got to master a few moves. This is what I'm talking about, man. I'm going to have to show how it's done. I'm going to have to, man. You know they're going to make Sami Zayn world champion. We already know. I've seen it coming from a mile away. I've been saying last year that they're going to make Sami Zayn champion in 2026. And then the ratings are going to go down to 500,000 instead of 900,000. This is what I'm talking about. Why? Because Paul Levesque is making it all about what he wants. He's not listening to the fans. Not the ones that matter. He doesn't want to face the fact that Sami Zayn is just not over enough. Let me tell you what else is Paul Levesque is doing right. Is doing wrong, I mean. Just not listening to the fans in general. He's putting who he wants at the top instead of who is the most over. This is obviously stupid. You want to know what Vince McMahon would have done? We can go on all night about Vince McMahon and his allegations, but that got nothing to do with booking and marketing. Okay? Which Vince was good at. Vince with a Braun Breaker, he should be a top babyface, possible world champion by now. If you're a heel and the fans are doing your slogans like how Braun Breaker would bark, the fans are doing it along with him. He can be a heel all he wants. The fans still love him. Vince McMahon would have used common sense and said, you know what, I gotta turn him babyface. I gotta turn him face. He's too over. The fans don't want to boo him. But no, Paul Levesque instead wants to put him in a bullshit stable. And make him a flunky. Even though he's over with the fans, Triple H doesn't listen to anybody either. He just makes bad decisions, and because he's out of touch. Was Vince out of touch? Oh yeah, Vince was out of touch at times. That's why Vince had Shawn Michaels. Why you think we can talk about Shawn Michaels being his boy toy and all that gay stuff, right? No. Here's what we don't talk about. Back in the day, as much of a piece of shit Shawn Michaels was coaching Vince McMahon on what's getting over with the fans. Shawn would tell him, like, you don't understand these kids. You don't understand what kids like today. This is not going to work. Shawn Michaels knew. Triple H was the one that had no ideas. Shawn Michaels was always the one who had ideas. He explained to Vince McMahon, because Shawn Michaels would follow, he would pay attention to what's popular in modern times at the time, because we're talking about the 90s. A booker needs somebody. If I was a booker, yes, me at 37 years old, which is not even that old, right? But I would have some Gen Z kids around me. Well, not kids. Gen Z is not kids these days. They're in their 20s. But I would have some 20-some-year-olds telling me about what's popular today, because I'm a millennial. I'm getting up there. I don't know everything about what these kids like today. Just like this is very old school, but it's not going to stay like this. My work is going to get more and more modern as I go along with this. But if I was an actual booker in real life, not in a video game, I would have people younger than me telling me what's popping today. Because I know that I'm getting too old to keep up with the young generation. I'm just saying, but that's just me, y'all. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. And if you like, I can get more into this subject. I can sink my teeth into this a little bit more. Because I can't stress enough the issues of today's world wrestling entertainment. Ain't nobody listening to the young folk. They need to be listened to, man. If we're talking about entertainment, at least. But yeah, y'all, that's the video. Peace.